Nigeria, a land of rich cultures, deep traditions, and evolving identities. In a society where cultural norms have long been held sacred, one form of self-expression is breaking boundaries and sparking conversations. Tattoos. For centuries, body markings in Nigeria were deeply rooted in tradition. From the Yoruba facial scarification to the Igbo uli art, these markings symbolized everything from social status to rites of passage. But as the world modernized, these practices began to wane, replaced by more contemporary forms of self-expression. In recent years, tattoos have transcended their traditional roots to become a symbol of modern identity. Once frowned upon as a taboo, tattoos are now finding their place in Nigeria's urban centers, embraced by a new generation eager to define themselves on their own terms.
So I think the stereotype that Nigerians have against tattoos is based on religion and like an archaic mindset, because even before the whole tattoo with ink and all of that, we had scarification, we had carvings, we had all of that. Even before colonialism, we had all of that. So it's something that is embedded in the African culture. It's just that, like I said, religion has kind of made it look like it's something bad or something that's going to send you to hell, which is not true. Yeah, so the perception that they have is a flawed mindset, which I am happy to help correct, because it's beautification of your body. You're doing something that you like, and there's nothing there, there's no repercussion, there's no death sentence, there's no hell sentence, there's nothing, there's no damnation. It's just a mindset that needs to be changed.
Body art has been for a while, and the Nigerian culture is very, subjective. So, we all have freedom to how we want to express ourselves. So I feel like, tattooing is just something that you can't take off the culture. Yeah.
I've had a lot of bias and like stereotypical comments against the fact that I'm a female, because there are times where they feel like as a female, I won't be able to do it as good as a male. I won't be able to my work is not as good as a guy's work. There was a time where I had a customer that came in and he didn't know I was a female, so he came in and he was like, oh, am I sure I can do this? And I'm like, you saw my work already, so my gender doesn't really matter on the quality of my work. The interest is increasing every day. So when I started off working, I didn't used to have as much clients. But as time is going on, in this generation, things are becoming more widely accepted, like tattoos. So that's how the interest is increasing and increasing. So every day, I get more and more clients. Before, I didn't used to be booked out, but now I can be booked out for a whole month.
Tattoos have long been the subject of debate, often viewed through cultural, religious, and personal lenses. In Nigeria, opinions remain divided. So, what do tattoos represent to individual Nigerians?
For me, I don't like it.
I think there's this stereotype about tattoos that says that if you have tattoos, you cannot share blood to your close relatives or something. So I really admire it on people. I like it on people. When I see it, if your tattoo is very nice, I can do it, also compliment it, but I don't think it's something I want to have on my body.
When I was writing my own tattoo, I actually didn't have any reason. I just wanted to do a tattoo because then I was a fitness instructor. So just wanted to, to add to my physique, add to my body, just to look good a little bit. But now I don't think it's something necessary.
On my body? No, I hate it a lot. Islamically it's not good, so I don't do it. I'm a religious person.
I don't really put interest in tattoos or stuff like that.
I have parents, and actually if I have, they will scold me.
The shift in perception has been gradual but significant. Social media has played a key role exposing Nigerians to global trends and the growing normalization of tattoos as an art form. Celebrities, influencers, and even athletes now proudly showcase their ink, inspiring others to follow suit.
Tattoos are a form of expression and identification. It's a way for me to say this without saying it, without voicing it out. It's a way for me to tap into my origin, my beginning. It's a way for me to understand more. It's a way for me to identify myself with this type of thing. it shouldn't be a way for you to say, okay, you shouldn't have to look at me and say I'm a criminal for having my tattoos, that I know what, like, the reason behind me doing it.
Despite the growing acceptance, tattoos in Nigeria still face resistance from certain quarters. In a country where religious and cultural values are deeply embedded, many view tattoos as a challenge to tradition, prompting debates about morality, identity, and modernity.
In the entire Bible, there's one scripture that actually speaks directly to it in the Old Testament, and that's in Leviticus 19-28. In NIV it says, "Do not cut your bodies for the dead, or put tattoos mark on yourself. I'm the Lord." Some churches frown about it. If that's the environment you live, my brother, and that's where you want to be, then don't do it. In terms of you going to heaven, it doesn't stop you from going to heaven. It doesn't stop you from growing spiritually. To be fair, it doesn't. It doesn't stop you. But in your walk to God, you ask yourself, is it needful?
Medically, individuals who get a tattoo are advised to wait some months before donating blood due to the potential risk of infections from the tattooing process. This helps ensure both the safety of the donor and the recipient.
They come with their problems. First of all, when you have a tattoo, you are actually injuring your skin. So there is a cut. And in terms of cutting your skin, then you're exposing it to bacteria and other things that can come with that. First and foremost, if the skin is not cleaned properly, if the instruments are not well sterilized, that can give you, bacterial infections. There's also the risk of having bloodborne infections like hepatitis B. It's rare, but the risk does occur. Hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and HIV. But I think the most important problem is having a reaction. The ink that is in the tattoo dye some of them have metals, they have chemicals, and individuals react to these chemicals and these metals, and then they have a response, an allergic reaction. Over time, you can actually have keloids also forming over the tattoos. So these are the most important problems that you can find.
In Nigeria, individuals with tattoos are often negatively perceived by the police, who commonly associate body art with criminal activity, cultism, or internet fraud. This leads to profiling and harassment, especially of young men with visible tattoos. Despite tattoos not being illegal, cultural bias and societal stigma continues to influence how law enforcement treats tattooed individuals. We reached out to the police for comment on allegations that Nigerian boys and men are profiled for having tattoos, but there was no reply from any police representative.
We had the first ever tattoo convention in Lagos last year. Yes, so these are the things that help to push the culture, to expand the culture, to make it more acceptable and make more people make a living out of it in the future. So yes, I feel like tattoo has a very strong future in Nigeria, because if it's being accepted now, imagine how it's going to be in like 5 years from now. So yeah.
Nigerian tattoo artists are doing some amazing things. Like they're really breaking it. We are going above board. So yeah, the future is and there are more tattoo collectors in this generation than ever in Nigeria. More people, more enlightened people are getting tattoos. More sophisticated people are getting tattoos. So I think it's getting better. It's getting brighter for for tattooing.
As Nigerian culture continues to evolve, so too does its embrace of new forms of self-expression. Tattoo artists are gaining recognition, and more Nigerians are finding the courage to wear their stories on their skin. Tattoos in Nigeria are more than just ink on skin. They are a reflection of a society in transition, where traditional meets modernity, and where identity is being redefined with every stroke of the needle. As acceptance grows, so too does the understanding that tattoos are not just about rebellion, but about resilience, expression, and the enduring human desire to tell our stories. This is Nigeria, a nation where the ink is just beginning to flow, and with it, the stories of a new generation.